Hello, I'm Lester Lee and welcome back to Movies Now at SavannahNow.com. This week there's nothing coming out that we really cared about, so we decided to do a year in review for the final episode of 2009.
And now for our feature presentation.
First off, for our year in review are my top 5 picks, the movies that I enjoyed the most. Now keep in mind, this isn't based on any codified rubric or anything, it's just what I enjoyed the most, so you're very likely to disagree, but here they are. Number 5 was Law Abiding Citizen.
You will end this. I'm just getting warmed up.
Law Abiding Citizen was actually one of the movies that I went and saw for the show and gave a full review about it, and while it might not have been, groundbreaking in any way, it was still awesome, and it warmed my heart to see Gerard Butler killing people. Number 4 was The Hangover. The Hangover was another one of the movies that I went and saw for the show, and it was awesome. Zach Galifianakis is one of my favorite comedians, and it was just hilarious. Yet again, it's another one of those movies. It's not groundbreaking, but it was really funny, and I enjoyed it, so that's why it's number 4. Number 3 was Watchmen. Now, Watchmen, if you would have asked me back in March when it came out, I would have told you that I could not foresee any movie being better than it this year, but I was pleasantly surprised, as you can tell by its number 3, but personally I thought it was awesome, a very good adaptation of the comic book, which I've read, and just a great movie. Number 2 was Avatar, which you all need to go see. Now, Avatar is put at number 2 partly because I just saw it, so I didn't want to put it at number 1 and make you think that I was just being whimsical, but it was really awesome, and it was one of the movies on this list that was actually groundbreaking. It was ridiculous, and I reviewed it all last week, so go watch that episode. And just, if you haven't seen it yet, go see it. And number 1 was Inglourious Basterds. Inglourious Basterds was so good. Quentin Tarantino couldn't have been better. Brad Pitt did an amazing job. I loved it. It was hilarious. It had a great storyline. It was just my favorite movie of 2009.
Each and every man under my command owes me 100 Nazi scalps. And I want my scalps.
Now for the second part of Movies Now, a year in review, are the top 3 trends that I noticed common in movies coming out this year. Number 3 was remakes and book adaptations. Now I know that remakes and book adaptations is always like a big thing in Hollywood, but this year was really poignant to me. I guess a lot of the movies coming out were one or the other. Like there was My Sister's Keeper, based on the Jodi Picoult book. There was Sherlock Holmes recently. District 9 was based on a short film. My Bloody Valentine. Like the list goes on. There's just so many. I feel like there are very few original scripts. Number 2 was 3D. That's been done lightly in the past, and I guess this year is the year that the technology finally hit full force, and they just did it completely. Like, there was a new Ice Age movie that was in 3D, My Bloody Valentine, Avatar, Up, Christmas Carol here recently. And so I feel like this is going to be one of those trends that's going to continue on. We're going to be stuck with it, and pretty soon it's going to be the only type of movie that you see. And number 1 was vampire movies. Right off the top of my head, I can think of Transylvania, Cirque du Freak, and Twilight. Now, this may cause some arguments about whether or not it was number 1, but to me, it was number 1 because it was at least the most annoying. You heard about vampire movies all year long, especially about Twilight. If I hear about another vampire movie, I'm probably going to go crazy. Now, for the third and final part of our Movies Now, a year in review, we're going to take a look back at some of the episodes of Movies Now past, and the high points and the funnier parts, and even a couple of bloopers, because I mess up a lot. And so, here you go.
Hello, I'm Lester Lee, luckily for The Hangover, Bruno, and I Love You, Beth Cooper. We're going to talk about, and oh man, I messed it up.
He messed it up.
Yeah, all right.
It is now officially summer, and as such, we're going to start seeing.
That sounded weird. Okay. Cirque du Freak, The Vampire's Assistant, is based off the first 3 books of the Saga of Darren Shan, written by Darren Shan. In it, we see a young boy, Darren, who Like, do you see a trend here? Not very creative names. All right. In the movie, okay. All right. The only way I would see this movie is if you could guarantee to me that at some point Gerard Butler rips off his shirt and yells, "This is Sparta!"
She's only interested in you because she thinks you're the chosen one.
Well, that's our year in review. Thanks for sticking with us for our first year of existence, even though it hasn't quite been a year. And for those of you who I'm sure there are many that disagree with my picks for top 5 or noticed a couple other trends that I didn't touch on, feel free to leave a comment in our comment box and discuss it. We're always open to input, and I just want to see what your opinion was. So, thank you again, and once again, I'm Lester Lee from Movies Now at SavannahNow.com, and I wish you a happy new year.